Hello everyone, Eric Rock, Spiritual Catalyst, here to talk about the energies of February and what you need to know to navigate this terrain in the most elegant, easy, fun-filled way possible. So, February is all about balancing the light and the shadow, our duality, the polarity within us. And this month will go relatively gracefully and easily for those that are willing to look at the shadow aspects, to begin to integrate those shadow aspects. And for those of you that have done a lot of shadow work, there is likely more to do. I know this from personal experience because I had done a lot of shadow work. And just within the last month or so, I met like the shadow of my shadow of my shadow. Like, she's delightful. Actually, I didn't know what to do with her when I met her. My instant reaction or response was to, bring in healing, like all these things. And it was something way deep within me wanted to like fix her, heal her, shift her. And I heard a booming voice, which was not my own, that was like, no, you hold sacred loving space for her, you witness and observe, and you accept. The healing in this instance for me was in accepting, full acceptance of her. And everything shifted profoundly for me after this. I guess that was the time I was just ready to meet this deepest, darkest version of me. And, we're all creators, and this version of me is the polar opposite. She is a destroyer. And now that I've met her, I see how she's been working in my life. Trying to get my attention. And it kind of showed up for me in like some self-sabotage, not a lot, but like a bit of self-sabotage, a bit of not letting in all the good that is trying to come to me, because there was still some unworthiness here. I don't deserve, I need to be punished. There was that kind of pattern or belief with me, I need to be punished for the things I've done, quote unquote, wrong. So a lot of like judgment going on there. And she was holding the key to a freedom that I didn't know was possible. And so I hope my share inspires you to like really turn towards that deepest, darkest part of you and welcome this part home. And to tell them, I love you exactly as you are. I see you. I accept you. I embrace you. And I love you. Shadow work can be a bit intimidating to do on your own. I'm trained in it, so I have the tools. But if you feel like you're ready to really go and embrace your shadow, to accept your shadow, and you want assistance, reach out to me. I love doing shadow work because the transformation that occurs after you really start to accept this version. And this is the version where we are stuffing this version down because way back here somewhere we think if anyone sees this version of me, no one would love me. No one would accept me. People would abandon me. And there's typically some shame that goes with this version, this part of you, this part of all of us. So the treasure that you receive back is so worth any bit of fear walking into this kind of work. Okay, so I'll leave that at that. So yes, February, all about balancing the light and shadow. This is the second month of the year. It carries a unique energetic signature that is deeply connected to the symbolism of the number 2. So this month, we are invited to explore the realms of balance, of harmony, and partnerships, and also confront and integrate the duality of light and shadow. So the number 2 is a sacred symbol that represents the union of opposites, seeking to find equilibrium and stability in all aspects of life. It's a number that celebrates partnerships and relationships, acknowledging the beauty of connections and collaborations. And the number 2 is also intimately linked to the emotional realm, encouraging us to tune into our feelings and trust our intuition, trust our inner wisdom. And as we navigate the complexities of polarity and duality, the number 2 reminds us to integrate and reconcile contradictions, finding harmony in the midst of opposing forces. You could think of it as walking the middle way, walking the middle path, and being in a space of neutrality where you see all of it and you're okay with all of it, you're accepting of all of it. And if you find yourself like, I'm not okay with all of it, if you could be open just a smidge to accepting all of it and petitioning your higher power, the higher power of your understanding, to help you with this. Sometimes we have to call in those big guns and say, help me with this. Because for a lot of human reasons, I'm not okay with all this. I'd like to be, because it would feel better to be neutral. So please help me. Petition your higher self. So during February, the duality of light and shadow becomes very pronounced, inviting us to explore the depths of our own psyche, kind of what makes you tick, what do you believe, what patterns do you see that continuously emerge? What triggers you? What are your triggers? And what are the main emotions that you seem to keep cycling through? Because there tends to be like 3 or 4 emotions that we cycle throughout a day. And we just keep ping-ponging with those emotions. Because February is also a month, the energy is inviting us to be free with everything, not necessarily free of anything. Do you feel the difference? Be free with everything, not free of anything. And to really mastery of mind and emotions, meaning we allow everything to move through us, whether it feels like a massive tornado, a tsunami of anger or irritation or intolerance, frustration, irritability, sadness, hopelessness, despair. Let it rip through you. Sit, be with it, hold sacred space for yourself. Let it and observe it. Drop the story, because there's likely some story out there that has triggered this emotion. Drop the story, feel the feeling. Drop the story, feel the feeling. Okay. Yes, so the duality of light and shadow becomes more pronounced, inviting us to explore the depths of our own psyche and confront the aspects of ourselves that we may have previously suppressed or denied. Think of your shadow or any other aspect of you that you don't want people to see. So you wear a mask, you hide it. There's shame around it. There's self-judgment around it. This is such a crucial step in the entire process towards unity. Like, we can't just jump to unity without these steps, because we have to first acknowledge and accept the dualities within ourselves before we can transcend them. The light represents our higher self, our divine self, our spiritual nature, and connection to the divine. And it symbolizes hope, inspiration, and guidance. On the other hand, the shadow represents our lower self, our ego, and our unconscious fears and desires. There's nothing wrong. I just want to make sure I'm super clear. There's nothing wrong with this aspect of us. We're created in divine perfection, made in the image and likeness of the one true creator. And thus, no part of us that was created is wrong or bad. As we navigate the energies of February, we're encouraged to explore the interplay between light and shadow. Explore the dance between light and shadow. Come to this curious. It's the best way to come to this. Come to it curious. I want to explore this. I want to get to know me at the deepest levels possible. And we want to acknowledge the parts of ourselves that, like I said, we may have previously suppressed or denied because we have a self-judgment that part of us is not okay. That is not okay for me to have a version of that within me. Because when we deny it, it becomes a little monster that starts to create in our reality unwanted manifestations. Do you hear my dogs barking? They're out there living it up. There's probably deer in the yard, so they're like, I want to chase you, but I can't. I'm stuck on the porch. So again, this isn't about judging or condemning our shadow aspects, but rather about embracing, accepting, and integrating them into our conscious awareness. And by acknowledging and accepting our dualistic nature, we can begin to transcend the limitations of the lower self, the ego, and connect to our higher selves and move into a place of that highest embodiment, authenticity, alignment, coherence, love. And so once we can find this balance and harmony within ourselves, then we can radiate that out into the world. We can't jump over any of the steps. I wish there was a shortcut. Actually, there is a bit of a shortcut. Now that came out of my mouth, I'm like, there is a little bit of a shortcut, and it's called bringing love into everything. Bringing love into everything. And bringing more love into everything. Yesterday, I made a video about the rose gold flame. Sit in that frequency. Allow it to shower down on you. Absorb it into your skin. It goes throughout your entire body. And you can use that to meet the shadow. And we're not sprinkling our shadow with love and light. Like, no, we're not taking that and just going to sprinkle some good juju on it, and it's going to instantly transform. Acceptance. Love. Love, 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 love is the answer. So, for February, once we do the things, we can find balance and harmony within ourselves and radiate this out into the world. The 2-2 portal, which will be happening tomorrow on February 2nd, it amplifies this process. And it offers a powerful catalyst for growth, introspection, and self-awareness. It will be an awesome day to take some time for you, get in a salt bath, journal, get in nature, sit quietly with yourself. Sometimes I like to sit with myself and just say, what do I need right now? Because we're so distracted by the appearance out here that we often become pretty disconnected from what we need. And then we go into a stress response, a triggered response, because we're not getting our own needs met. It's time to learn to befriend ourselves, to love ourselves, hold sacred space for ourselves, and learn how to give ourselves what it is we truly need in any perfect now moment. And I have released the expectation that anyone out here is responsible for my needs. That was a huge paradigm shift. So I'm planting that seed right now because February is also a time where it's time to take our power back from anyone or anything we're giving it to learn how to self-source. And when I say that, I am not, what I'm not saying is to become an island unto yourself and that you don't need anyone or anything. No. But my husband's not responsible for my happiness. Do you know what I mean? Like those kind of things. A lot of times with family, we don't feel loved, seen, heard, listened to. We often feel misunderstood, especially if you're a starseed. We're often put in these families that we feel like the black sheep. Like, this is my like blood family, but man, I cannot relate to these people at all. And we get resentful that they don't know how to meet our needs emotionally. Or in a lot of other ways, and we expect them to. There's this expectation because it's been conditioned into us. And if you have a family that is able to see you and feel you and listen to you and hear you and get you, blessed be to that. So, as we pass through this 2-2 gateway, we're invited to confront and integrate our shadow selves, embracing the duality of light and shadow as a very necessary step towards love and unity consciousness. So, January was a super intense first month of the year. I saw a lot of people posting on social media like, okay, I've given January a try for my trial membership and I'm canceling my membership. I thought that was so funny. So yes, January was intense. Throughout February, the energies are focused on emotional healing, self-care, and heart-centered connections. How will you know that you need to stop, drop, and do some self-care? You become stressed, irritable, frustrated, impatient, angry. That's when it's time for us to take a time out. Adults need timeouts too. Take a time out. What is it that I really need right now? Maybe you just need to take like 1 minute and do deep breathing. Maybe you need to do some journaling. Maybe you need to energetically cut cords or fill yourself with the light, connect to your higher self, take a walk in nature, sing, dance. Music for me keeps me sane, keeps me happy, keeps my vibe high. And if you knew the kind of music I listen to, you would laugh. You'd be like, how does that make you happy? Because it does. It reminds me of my teenager years. So in February, this will be a month where we're presented with opportunities for meaningful partnerships and collaborations, social connections, and we're encouraged to seek balance and harmony in all aspects of our lives. So today and within the next few days, it would be great to kind of look at all areas of your life to see where perhaps we need more opening, we need more fun, we need more inspiration, we may need more healing. We need more satisfaction and fulfillment. So it's a good time to do an overview for all of that. And as we navigate these energies, we may find ourselves becoming increasingly sensitive and intuitive. Our intuition is becoming so refined that it's like laughable. Like just when you think you can't get any more psychic, boom, there it is. And we're also invited to go like have a deeper trust in our emotions and inner wisdom. If you meet someone and you feel Allow your mind, your body, and your emotions, because that's your emotional guidance system, listen to it. That was a big lesson for me recently, that my intuition, my body, my feelings were on high alert, red alert. And it was kind of like the question was, how much more do you need to take before you walk away? And I did finally walk away. And part of the pattern for me is, being a Scorpio, I'm super loyal. So once I let people into my heart and into my life, I'm all in. And I'm looking at that pattern and smiling and saying, you know, that's beautiful. But perhaps in the future, if something feels off, we extract ourselves before the snowball gains momentum and becomes an avalanche. Oh, goodness. Okay. So as you journey through February, and with the fresh energies of the new year of the snake around us, we're shedding our skin, be brave enough to confront and integrate your shadow self, embracing the duality of your light and your shadow. By doing so, you'll be able to transcend the limitations of your ego, false self, and connect with your higher self, divine self, radiating balance, harmony, and love into the world.